My running journey started in 2010 when I took part in my first ever half marathon in Reading. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great laugh. So a year later, I signed up again because I'm not particularly imaginative. Again, had an all right time. Couldn't go the next year, but in 2013, I went back for my third medal, uh, and it sucked. So I gave up. Fast forward 12 years, and I've just decided to run my next half marathon. And quite simply, there's a couple of questions I have to have. Will I enjoy it? Will I be able to run a continuous 13.1 miles? And am I quicker or slower than I was 15 years ago when I ran my first half marathon? Now, I'm hoping you've all been delightful little cherubs and have watched all of my previous videos religiously before getting to this one. If, however, you're a dirty queue jumper, then let me catch you up. Last year, I ran a series of 10k races, which ended up with me somehow jumping straight into 50 and 100k ultras. So you may think it's a little strange that having completed 50 and 100k events, I'm concerned as to whether I can actually run continuously for 21k. But ultra events are an entirely different beast, and unless you are an amazing athlete, a superhuman, or on some very exciting drugs, it is nigh on impossible to run the full distance of an ultra. Quite simply, the distances are really long, hence the name. But equally, you have to walk at times just to manage your pace to allow you to get to the end. And if you're going uphill, you shouldn't really be running. And if the terrain is particularly treacherous, you just need to slow down to avoid injury. So whilst I knew I could run fast 10Ks and I could cover long distances, what I didn't know is whether I could combine the two into a delicious little smush to actually achieve a decent half marathon time. Now, I didn't get a lot of footage on the day, but essentially there were close to 360 of us looking to start off at 10 o'clock. It was already a hot day. It was in the low 20s and it was going to get hotter as the day went on. Luckily, the organisers had put water stops on at every 2 mile point, so there was a minimal risk of getting too dehydrated. As I set off, my race pace is pretty strong, and as I tick through the 3 to 9 mile barriers, my watch is telling me that I'm in line to finish in around 1 hour and 53, 1 hour and 54. Now, just the heat, not being conditioned, still working on my pace, meant that my pace did drop off slightly. And I was hoping to do a sprint finish like I had done in my 2010 race in Reading. Wasn't to be the case. As you can see here, I'm kind of moving at the speed of erosion, even though it felt fast for me. But as I get into the last bit, I am about to finish under 2 hours with a time of 1 hour, 57 minutes and 51 seconds. Not too shabby. That meant I finished 207th out of 356. So it has been 15 years since my first ever half marathon and 12 since my last. But I'm glad to say that yesterday I walked away with this little beauty, not too shabby at all. And it answered some vital questions as well. Yes, I can indeed drag my 42-year-old, 84-kilo carcass around a 13.1 mile route without stopping. So ticking the box for that one. The question about whether I'd enjoy it is still TBC. I certainly enjoyed last night just watching TV with a massage gun and a big glass of chocolate milk to celebrate my success. But the other part was, am I faster or slower than previous Gregs? So a quick breakdown. Again, I didn't use Strava when I first started running back in the 2010s. So I've got nothing in my records. I went online to try and find my previous times. Couldn't find anything. So I'm going off memory. But in 2010, I think I completed that in 1:54:50. I don't know why that figure is stuck in my head, but I'm pretty sure that is accurate. In 2011, I was around 1:58. And then the 2013 disastrous half marathon where it rained, sleeted, everything went wrong. I hadn't trained. I ran over, I think, 2:05. I think it was closer to 2:06. And that was when I threw a sulk and decided I wasn't going to run anymore. So my time of 1:57:51 means I am faster than 30-year-old sulky Greg. I am around the same time frame as 28-year-old not so sulky Greg, but 27-year-old 2010 shiny Greg with a very similar haircut to me now, to be fair, he still holds that championship belt. But future Greg is going to beat that, hopefully. I have signed up to at least one more half marathon this year, and I'm hoping that if I survive that and I enjoy it and I train properly and do everything right, that I will build up to do a marathon. So that should be interesting. I would just like to finish off this video by thanking everybody that took part in the Great Yarmouth Half Marathon, from the competitors, the supporters, but more importantly, the organisers and their amazing volunteer staff. Obviously, it goes unsung a lot of the time to these heroes, but the fact that they were so chirpy the whole time we were running. Every 2 miles there was a water stop, which was vitally needed on a really hot day, and without them there would have been just heat injuries all over the place. Honestly, cannot thank you enough. Without people like those volunteers, these events would never happen. And equally, I appreciate that my in-race footage is not exactly extensive. That is because I am always running with my mobile phone. I am a cheapskate. I have not yet purchased a GoPro or similar. But my intent is that over the next year or so, if I am getting enough views, subscribers, likes, I will upgrade, certainly to show more of me just hanging out and struggling. If that's what you guys want to see, then that's what will go on. But if you have enjoyed this video, and indeed any of my previous ones, please do consider liking the video, sharing it, especially leave me a comment below whether that's because you've taken part in a half marathon and want to give me your thoughts and your experiences in there, or you just want to tell me how handsome and brave I am. That would be great. Equally, if you would like to subscribe, it costs absolutely nothing, but it means you will get a notification every time I post up any new content, and that would be greatly appreciated. But thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see some of you at races in the future.